What if I told you that you're holding an invisible key? A key that could unlock the door to a life of complete freedom. A life where other people's opinions no longer control you, where your inner peace stands firm like a mountain, and where the fear of rejection no longer holds you back. But even if you had that key, would you dare to use it? Let's be honest, everywhere around us, invisible pressures are at play. The comments, the expectations, the judgmental stares, they all work to pull you further away from your true self. So what will you do? Will you keep enduring it, or will you choose to break free? This is where the wisdom of Buddhism becomes your guiding light. It offers a powerful path to rise above the noise of the world and connect with your inner strength. In today's video, we'll uncover 10 profound Buddhist lessons that will teach you how to let go of dependency on others and take full control of your life. 1. Stop depending on others for your happiness. The Buddha once said, "No one saves us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path." This timeless wisdom reminds us that true happiness and peace can only come from within. Yet, we often place our emotional well-being in the hands of others, whether through their validation, compliments, or even their presence. In doing this, we unknowingly hand over control of our feelings to forces we cannot govern. As a result, a cycle of disappointment and dissatisfaction fulfills us constantly. However, Buddhism teaches us a powerful antidote: self-reliance. By cultivating inner peace and contentment, we begin to anchor our happiness in something far more stable, our own minds and hearts. This involves embracing who we truly are, appreciating the present moment, and letting gratitude become a daily practice. These habits gradually strengthen the foundation of our inner peace, making it unshakable by external events or opinions. 2. Don't fear being alone. It's where you discover yourself. Self-reliance often requires something else: the courage to be alone. As the Buddha said, "Better it is to live alone. There is no companionship with a fool. Walk alone, do no evil, be carefree like an elephant in the forest." This wisdom shows us that solitude is not a weakness, but a powerful opportunity to connect with our true selves. In fact, we usually depend on others for companionship or validation, fearing that solitude might leave us feeling empty. Nevertheless, few of us realize that when we are alone, we are free from external influences and distractions, allowing us to explore our inner world with clarity, since embracing solitude gives us the space to reflect on our thoughts, deepen our understanding of who we are, and nurture emotional resilience. Therefore, instead of relying on others to fill the silence or offer validation, we should learn to find comfort within our own company. Let this quiet strength become a source of confidence so that we can face life with greater balance and peace. 3. Quit seeking approval from everyone. Find validation within. Now, we have learned the lesson of seeking self-happiness by ceasing to seek recognition from others and viewing solitude as an opportunity to discover our true selves. Yet, one of the greatest challenges remains: how can we learn to stop seeking approval from others? The Buddha said, "The whole secret of existence is to have no fear. Never fear what will become of you. Depend on no one. Only the moment you reject all help are you freed." This wisdom reminds us that constantly chasing validation from others, whether through compliments, attention, or acceptance, only traps us in a cycle of dependency and self-doubt. According to Buddhism, true confidence comes from self-acceptance. When you shift your focus inward, you begin to realize that your worth has never been defined by anyone else's opinions. Instead, it lies in the love, respect, and understanding you offer yourself. This internal validation creates a lasting sense of freedom, which shields you from unnecessary stress and disappointment. Each day, pause and affirm something positive about yourself, something you value, regardless of how others see it. Over time, this practice will help you trust your own approval and embrace a life free from the need for external validation. 4. Don't let rejection define you. Use it to grow. Rejection can still feel like a heavy blow, even as you learn to embrace your own worth. It's easy to feel disheartened or self-doubt when faced with rejection, but Buddhism reminds us rejection is not a reflection of our value. Instead, it can be seen as an opportunity to grow, to redirect our energy, and to discover new possibilities. Letting go of what wasn't meant for you clears the way for better opportunities to arise. The Buddha's teaching, whatever is not yours, let it go. Your letting go of it will be for your long-term happiness and benefit, encourages us to view rejection not as a failure, but as a natural part of life, one that helps us refine our path. To embrace this mindset, take a moment after facing rejection to reflect on what it taught you, whether it's a new direction, a lesson in resilience, or simply the reminder that not everything is within your control. By letting go gracefully, you create space for growth, clarity, and new opportunities on your journey. 5. Stop fearing what others think of you. Focus on your own path. As you learn to let go of rejection, you also need to overcome the fear of what others think about you. Whenever you catch yourself worrying about someone else's opinion, pause and ask, is this thought helping me grow, or is it holding me back? Redirect your focus toward actions that align with your values. Over time, you'll find that living true to yourself brings a deeper sense of peace and confidence. The Buddha taught us, if you truly loved yourself, you could never hurt another. This teaching reminds us that our self-perception, not others' judgments, should guide us. Thus, rather than letting others' opinions dictate our worth, let us focus on our own growth and actions. Remember that people's judgments often reflect their own struggles and biases, not our reality. Stop fearing how others perceive you, and you will unlock the freedom to be authentically yourself. 6. Stop sacrificing your peace to please others. Protect your inner balance. Not only do you need to stop fearing what others think of you, but you also need to ponder yourself from the relentless please everyone. We twist ourselves into knots trying to meet expectations, smiling when we're tired, agreeing when we want to say no, and stretching ourselves thin in the hope of keeping everyone happy. Ironically, the harsh truth is, no matter how much you give, it will never be enough for everyone. Indeed, sacrificing your well-being to please others isn't noble. It's draining. Worse, it erodes the sincerity of your actions, turning kindness into obligation and compassion into resentment. When you realize this, deeply engrave the teachings of the Buddha in your mind. By oneself is evil done, by oneself is one defiled, by oneself is evil left undone, by oneself is one purified. His words remind us that no one else can guard our peace but us. In addition, Buddhism teaches us to act with kindness, but never at the expense of your inner harmony. Boundaries are not barriers, they're bridges to a healthier and more balanced life. Saying no when your limits are reached is not selfish. It's an act of self-respect that ultimately allows you to give from a place of strength and authenticity. So, reflect yourself from the bottom of heart. What truly deserves your energy? Start small. Set one boundary today, whether it's declining an extra task or carving out quiet time for yourself. The more you honor your peace, the more you'll find that inner harmony isn't just a gift to yourself, it's a gift you give to everyone around you. 7. Focus on what you can control, your inner world. Once you've set boundaries to protect your peace, the next step is to shift your energy inward and focus on what you can control, yourself. It's tempting to try to change the actions of others or force situations to align with your expectations, but this only leads to frustration. As the Buddha wisely taught, it is a man's own mind, not his enemy or foe, that lures him to evil ways. This profound insight reminds us that true power lies in mastering our own thoughts and emotions, not in trying to manipulate the world around us. According to Buddhism, clinging to what's beyond your control is a root cause of suffering. The truth is, you can't dictate how others behave, what they think, or how events unfold. However, you have full authority over your own actions, reactions, and mindset. By directing your energy toward improving yourself rather than wrestling with external forces, you cultivate resilience and peace. Start by asking yourself, how can I respond to challenges with greater wisdom? How can I strengthen my habits to support my growth? Continuously remind yourself to slow down in order to focus on building a calm and intentional mind. For example, when faced with chaos, take a moment to breathe deeply and ground yourself before reacting. Over time, this practice will help you approach life's uncertainties with clarity and confidence. When you let go of the illusion of control over others, you reclaim the energy you've been pouring into futile efforts. This freedom allows you to make decisions based on inner stability, not external pressures. Even more, as you master your inner world, your calm becomes contagious. Others will notice your steadiness and may feel inspired to reflect on their own actions. This isn't about detachment or ignoring the world. It's about spending your energy where it matters most, on yourself. By focusing inward, you create a solid foundation of peace that no external circumstance can shake. True mastery begins when you realize that your greatest power lies in how you choose to respond to life, not in controlling it. Look at the Buddha's story as an example of this lesson. One day, an angry man approached the Buddha, hurling insults and trying to provoke him. Yet, the Buddha remained calm, his composure unshaken. When the man demanded an explanation, the Buddha responded, "If someone offers you a gift and you decline to accept it, to whom does it belong?" The man reluctantly admitted that the gift would remain with the giver. The Buddha then said, "In the same way, I choose not to accept your anger, it remains with you." This story illustrates the essence of focusing on what you can control, your reactions, not others' actions. The Buddha's serenity was his choice, a reflection of his mastery over his own mind, proving that external chaos cannot disturb inner peace unless we allow it. 8. Realize that people are focused on their own lives. So as you work on mastering your inner world, it's also important to realize that people are focused on their own lives. The reality is that not many people are genuinely concerned about your life as much as you might think. After all, the only person who truly cares about your life is yourself, just you. Hearing this, you might ask yourself, why do I often fall into the trap of believing that every misstep, choice, or word I utter is scrutinized by those around me, while most people are far too absorbed in their own lives to focus on mine? The Buddha taught us, do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future, concentrate the mind on the present moment. This profound teaching reminds us that most people are caught up in their own lives and struggles, whether concerns about the future or regrets about what has happened in the past. Therefore, they often leave little time to focus on anyone else. When you reflect on yourself, you will find that those Buddha's words are really reasonable. Just ask yourself, how often do you spend your time thinking about other people's minor mistakes or choices? Likely not much, because your mind is occupied with your own concerns. The same is true for others. Recognizing this truth not only lifts the weight of imagined scrutiny, but also allows you to focus your energy on becoming the best version of yourself. Let's reflect on the story about a young artist who hesitated to display her paintings at a local exhibition. She feared people would mock her work, thinking it amateurish or unworthy. For weeks, she avoided the opportunity, paralyzed by the thought of judgment. Then, one day, her mentor told her, "The world is too busy painting its own canvas to spend much time critiquing yours. Focus on your art. It's the only thing that's truly yours to create." Encouraged by this perspective, the artist submitted her work. At the exhibition, she noticed something surprising. Most visitors were too engrossed in the art they loved or discussing their own creative projects to pay much attention to hers. The few who did offered supportive feedback or simply moved on. She realized her fear of judgment had been overblown, holding her back from sharing her passion with the world. This story reminds us that the fear of others' opinions often exists more in our minds than in reality. When we stop worrying about imagined scrutiny and focus on expressing our authentic selves, we free ourselves to live and create with purpose. Thus, whenever you find yourself doubting or hesitating because of what others might think, pause and ask, what truly matters to me in this moment? Redirect your focus toward your personal growth and the values that bring you fulfillment. The more you do this, the lighter and more empowered you'll feel, breaking free from the shadows of external judgment. This isn't about ignoring others or living recklessly. It's about understanding that the world doesn't revolve around how you're perceived. By stepping out of the illusion of constant observation, you unlock the courage to live authentically, pursue your passions boldly, and dedicate yourself fully to your own purpose. 9. Don't get caught up in social comparison. Embrace your unique path. As you recognize that others are too preoccupied with their own lives to judge yours, it's essential to address another form of self-imposed suffering, comparison to others. The Buddha taught, "There is no fear for one whose mind is not filled with desires." This profound insight aligns with the Buddhist concept of tanha, or craving, which is often the root of our dissatisfaction. Social comparison is a modern form of tanha. It tempts us to desire what others have, whether it's their success, possessions, or perceived happiness. When we measure our worth against others, we trap ourselves in a cycle of envy, frustration, and discontent, losing sight of our unique journey and the progress we've made. The antidote to this suffering lies in practicing mudita, or sympathetic joy, the ability to feel genuine happiness for others' successes without comparing them to our own. Mudita transforms the competitive mindset into one of abundance, reminding us that someone else's success does not diminish our own potential. Through this lens, we begin to see others' achievements as inspiration rather than threats and redirect our energy toward gratitude for our own blessings. A powerful illustration of this principle can be found in the Dhammapada, where two of the Buddha's disciples, Devadatta and Ananda, embody contrasting approaches to life. Devadatta, consumed by jealousy, constantly compared himself to the Buddha, seeking to outshine him at every turn. This relentless craving for superiority brought him only frustration, alienation, and inner turmoil. On the other hand, Ananda chose to focus on his own growth, serving the Buddha with humility and gratitude. Free from the burden of comparison, Ananda thrived in wisdom and inner peace, ultimately becoming one of the most beloved members of the Sangha. This story illustrates that comparison only sows seeds of suffering, while contentment and self-focus cultivate true fulfillment. From a Buddhist perspective, our Dharma, or unique path, is the cornerstone of a meaningful life. Comparison distracts us from this path, causing us to chase after goals that may not align with our values or purpose. Social media exacerbates this issue by presenting curated highlight reels that make us feel as though we're falling behind. But Buddhism reminds us that happiness comes not from achieving what others have, but from understanding and following our own path with authenticity. To incorporate this teaching into your life, begin by practicing daily gratitude. Take a few moments each day to reflect on your progress, no matter how small. Recognize the unique lessons your journey has brought you, and honor the growth you've experienced. When feelings of comparison arise, consciously replace envy with mudita. For instance, if you see someone celebrating a promotion or personal milestone, pause to acknowledge their hard work and success while affirming your own efforts. This shift in perspective helps you move from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance, where others' achievements no longer threaten your self-worth. Ultimately, the path to freedom from comparison lies in understanding that life is not a competition, but a personal journey. Each of us has our own timing, challenges, and lessons to learn. The Buddha's teachings remind us that true wealth is not found in surpassing others, but in cultivating contentment and peace within ourselves. By letting go of the need to measure up to others, you reclaim your energy, focus on what truly matters, and open the door to a life of authenticity and fulfillment. 10. Prioritize your inner growth. Over external validation, find strength within. As you free yourself from the cycle of comparison, a deeper truth emerges. The most meaningful progress is not measured by how others perceive you, but by how much you've grown within. In a world that constantly demands external validation through social media likes, career recognition, or even family approval, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. The Buddha taught, peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. This wisdom reminds us that seeking validation outside ourselves only leads to dissatisfaction, because external approval is fleeting and unreliable. Chasing validation places your self-worth in the hands of others, leaving you vulnerable to their opinions and judgments. A single criticism can feel like a blow to your confidence, while even the highest praise often fades, pushing you to seek the next round of approval. This never-ending pursuit creates a cycle of insecurity that keeps you disconnected from your true self. Buddhism teaches that inner growth, rooted in self-awareness, mindfulness, and compassion, is the only lasting source of fulfillment. By turning inward, you begin to measure your progress, not by external achievements, but by qualities like patience, kindness, and resilience. Imagine taking a moment each day to reflect, am I more compassionate than I was yesterday? More mindful? More at peace? These questions shift your focus from what others think to how you're evolving as a person. When you prioritize inner growth, you build an unshakable foundation of self-worth that no praise or criticism can influence. This inner strength not only helps you navigate life's challenges with greater confidence, but also brings a profound sense of authenticity and peace. Buddhism's concept of equanimity further deepens this practice. Equanimity refers to maintaining balance and calmness, regardless of external circumstances. When you focus on inner growth, you cultivate this balance, becoming less reactive to life's highs and lows. Praise no longer inflates your ego, and criticism no longer diminishes your sense of self. Instead, you anchor your worth in the stability of your inner peace. The impermanence of external validation highlights why inner growth is so vital. What you gain through personal development, wisdom, emotional resilience, and a deep understanding of yourself is lasting and cannot be taken away. By letting go of the need for external validation, you free yourself to live according to your values and desires, rather than conforming to societal standards or others' expectations. This shift not only transforms your relationship with yourself, but also enhances your relationships with others. People are naturally drawn to those who are grounded in their own truth and live with integrity. When you stop seeking approval, you inspire others to do the same, creating deeper and more meaningful connections. So, remember that true fulfillment doesn't come from how others see you, but from how you grow within. By prioritizing your inner world, you unlock a life of peace, authenticity, and strength. One where you are no longer bound by the fleeting opinions of others, but guided by the steady light of your own self-awareness. Inner growth doesn't mean turning away from the world. It's about beginning the most important journey within yourself. When you focus on self-improvement, you bring more compassion, patience, and wisdom to your relationships, inspiring those around you to grow as well. Unlike fleeting external validation, the joy and fulfillment from inner growth are lasting and deeply empowering. The moment you let go of seeking approval and embrace your unique path, you unlock your true potential. Remember, true power comes from within. If this message inspired you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who might need it. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.